Welcome back, coin lovers and collectors. Sparkles. Today, we're going to explore the top four most valuable Jefferson nickels and Sacagawea dollar coins from the United States of America. These coins may seem common at first glance, but certain rare conditions, error strikes, silver-colored nickels, golden-toned Sacagaweas, and even unique color shades have made them some of the most desirable treasures in the coin collecting world. These rare coins are more than just pieces of history. They represent some of the most valuable finds collectors and investors are hunting for today. Depending on rarity, error type, and coin condition, their market values can reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, if you're a coin enthusiast or simply someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of American currency, this video is for you. Backhand index pointing right, let's get started with our countdown of the top four Jefferson nickels and Sacagawea dollar coins. Starting with number 1, Rocket. In 1944, the world was at war, and America's coinage reflected that struggle. The Jefferson nickel, introduced in 1938, had always been made of copper and nickel. But with World War II raging and nickel being a critical metal for tanks, aircraft, and weapons, the U.S. Mint made a bold decision. Beginning in late 1942 and continuing through 1945, they struck nickels not from nickel at all, but from an alloy of silver, copper, and manganese. The 1944 P. Jefferson nickel, minted in Philadelphia, became more than just a coin. It became a symbol of America's unity and sacrifice during wartime. Unlike earlier Jefferson nickels, the 1944 P is instantly recognizable by its large mint mark, placed above Monticello on the reverse. This feature was deliberate, a signal to the public that these coins contained precious silver and would one day be pulled from circulation. At the time, however, Americans did not treat them as treasures. They passed from hand to hand in busy wartime factories, army barracks, and ration lines, often overlooked for what they truly were. Today, those very coins command attention and respect in the numismatic world. A 1944 P. Jefferson wore nickel in average circulated condition might not look extraordinary, but in pristine, uncirculated, or proof-like states, its value can skyrocket. Collectors hunger for examples with sharp strikes, glowing luster, and clean surfaces. Such pieces, rare survivors of a turbulent time, now sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on condition and rarity. The history behind these coins makes them especially fascinating. Every 1944, P. nickel carries within a fragment of America's wartime story. Silver, once reserved for wealth and luxury, was pressed into service of the nation's everyday currency. Each nickel struck that year was both a financial tool and a patriotic gesture. Holding one today is like holding a piece of America's fight for freedom. A reminder how even pocket change played a role in securing victory. Philadelphia's mintage of the 1944 P. war nickel was substantial, but few remain in top quality. Wartime production lines were focused on efficiency, not perfection, and coins often left the presses with weaker details or imperfections. Add decades of circulation to the mix, and the survival of high-grade examples becomes almost miraculous. This is what makes them so valuable. The combination of historical weight, precious metal content, and elusive condition rarity. Collectors also prize the full steps designation on Monticello steps, which appear clearly only on the sharpest strikes. A 1944 P. nickel with full steps is a true treasure, often commanding exponential premiums at auction. These coins, though struck for just 5 cents of spending power, can now hold the weight of thousands of modern dollars. In this sense, they transform from common currency into golden keys of fortune. But beyond wealth, there's emotion tied to these coins. Imagine a young soldier in 1944 dropping a nickel into a vending machine before shipping off to war. Imagine a mother using one at a grocery store to buy ration goods. These nickels are not just metal. They are frozen echoes of lives lived in the most intense chapter of the 20th century. Owning one means connecting with those stories, carrying the spirit of sacrifice forward into the present. The Jefferson War nickels, including the 1944 P, also mark an important chapter in American minting history. They were the only regular circulating nickels ever struck in silver, making them an anomaly and a standout in the series. Once the war ended in 1945, production quietly returned to the traditional copper-nickel alloy, but a memory of those silver wartime issues lingered on. At coin shows and auctions today, the 1944 peak and draw crowds. Collectors and historians alike lean in to study its bold P mint mark and its rich history. The thrill of owning such a coin comes not only from its silver content or its market value, but also from the knowledge that you're holding an authentic artifact of World War II America. It is a conversation piece, a collector's dream, and a national treasure rolled into one. For some, the dream of stumbling across one of these coins and change remains alive. Though rare, it is not impossible. Stories still surface of people discovering war nickels in jars, rolls, or forgotten boxes in their grandparents' homes. The shock of realizing that a 5-cent coin could be worth a small fortune is part of what keeps collectors motivated and keeps the legend of the 1944 P alive. The financial potential of these nickels cannot be understated. In today's coin market, as silver prices fluctuate and collector demand grows, the 1944 P continues to appreciate in value. It may never make you a billionaire on its own, but it symbolizes the transformative power of numismatics, how the smallest objects can hold unimaginable wealth, both in money and in history. So if you are ever lucky enough to hold a 1944 P. Jefferson War nickel, treasure it. Do not let it go cheaply, for it carries within it the essence of America's wartime spirit and the chance to alter your fortune overnight. In its silver shine lies not just a reflection of the past, but the promise of prosperity for the future. Next up, in 1943, the United States stood at the height of World War II, and the nation's industries were consumed by the demands of war. Every resource, from food to fuel to metals, was redirected to the battlefield. Nickel, one of the strongest metals needed for armor plating and weaponry, became too valuable to waste on everyday currency. The U.S. Mint faced a challenge: how to strike 5-cent coins without the very metal that gave them their name. Their solution was ingenious. For the first and only time, America produced nickels made of silver, copper, and manganese. Among these, the 1943 P. Jefferson nickel emerged as a shining symbol of sacrifice and resilience. The 1943 P. War nickel was struck in Philadelphia, and for the first time in American coinage history, the mint boldly placed a large P mint mark above Monticello on the reverse. This was not just a practical mark for identification. It was a signal to the public that these were special coins born of necessity. It marked the first time the Philadelphia Mint had ever used a mint mark on circulating U.S. coinage, and that alone cemented its place in history. At first glance, the coin carried the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, but beneath that calm visage lay a coin unlike any other. Its 35% silver composition made it a treasure hiding in plain sight, slipping through ration lines, factory floors, and military pay stations during the most uncertain times of the 20th century. Soldiers in training camps, mothers buying wartime groceries, and children trading marbles may all have held this coin, unaware of its future legacy. What makes the 1943 P. Jefferson nickel so captivating today is not only its composition, but also the story it tells. Each one is an artifact of a nation that had to adapt under pressure. Unlike gold coins locked away in vaults, these nickels circulated widely, carrying the fingerprints of everyday Americans whose lives were intertwined with war. Holding one today is like holding a sliver of 1943 itself, a tangible link to sacrifice, hope, and eventual victory. Over the decades, the 1943 P. War nickel has become one of the most desirable coins in the Jefferson series. Though millions were minted, few remain in pristine condition. Coins that survive without scratches, wear, or discoloration are exceptionally rare, and collectors pay handsomely for examples with brilliant luster or full steps details on Monticello. A high-grade 1943 P can command thousands of dollars at auction, transforming what was once 5 cents of wartime necessity into a small fortune. The full steps designation has become legendary among Jefferson nickel enthusiasts. Only the sharpest, cleanest strikes reveal Monticello's steps in crisp detail, and most coins from 1943 show weaker strikes due to rushed wartime production. A full steps 1943 P is a true prize, the kind of discovery that can instantly elevate a collection from ordinary to extraordinary. In that sense, this nickel is both a historical gem and a hidden key to financial transformation beyond condition rarity. The 1943 P War nickel carries a deeper lure, the mystique of silver in a coin never meant to be precious. In a way, it turned ordinary Americans into silent custodians of treasure. Long after the war, when people learned these nickels contained silver, they began pulling them from circulation. Yet, astonishingly, some still appear in forgotten jars, drawers, and old rolls today. Imagine stumbling upon one. Realize that you hold a coin that could change not just your pocket change, but your entire financial future. The coin also embodies innovation in American minting. By using silver and manganese, the mint ensured the nation conserved nickel without halting production of a vital denomination. This experiment lasted until 1945, after which the mint quietly returned to the traditional copper-nickel alloy. But the legacy of those silver wartime nickels endured, and none carried more proudly than the 1943 P, the first of its kind with the historic Philadelphia Mint mark blazing above Monticello. Collectors today often call the 1943 PA gateway coin, a piece that draws new enthusiasts into the world of numismatics. Its affordability in lower grades makes it accessible, while its staggering value in high grades makes it endlessly aspirational. For many, it becomes a coin that sparks a lifelong passion, teaching them that history, artistry, and fortune can all live within a single piece of metal. The market for the 1943 P continues to grow as new generations discover its story. Silver prices rise and fall, but the historical weight of this coin ensures its enduring value. Auction houses highlight it with dramatic flair, and private collectors guard their best examples as if they were national relics. In truth, they are, not because of their silver alone, but because of the American spirit they encapsulate. Imagine the power of this coin today. A nickel meant to be spent without thought now carries the power to transform lives. For the right collector, a pristine 1943 P can command prices at rival luxury cars or even small homes. For the average person, finding one unexpectedly can feel like destiny, as if fortune itself has dropped into their palm in the form of a small, worn coin. So if ever you encounter a 1943 P. Jefferson War nickel, do not dismiss it as ordinary change. It is no mere 5-cent piece. It is a survivor of war, a symbol of sacrifice, a vessel of silver, and a fortune waiting to be unlocked. Treat it with the reverence it deserves, for within it lies the power to change your story overnight, just as it once carried the weight of a nation at war. Next up, when the year 2000 dawned, America welcomed not just a new century, but a new coinage legacy. The Sacagawea dollar, minted in Denver and other facilities, was introduced as a tribute to one of the most courageous women in American history. Struck with a golden-colored surface that gleamed unlike any coin before it, the 2000D Sacagawea stood out immediately. It was not gold in the traditional sense, but a blend of metals that gave it the appearance of treasure, and yet in the decades since, some examples of this coin have achieved legendary status, fetching unimaginable sums in the numismatic world. The D Mint mark of Denver became the signature of this release, and Denver production has always carried a sense of strength and precision. But within the mass of millions, hidden gems emerged, coins struck with perfection, coins with errors that turned into rarities, and coins that slipped into circulation only to resurface years later in pristine condition. For collectors, the 2000 D Sacagawea dollar is not just a coin but a golden ticket, a piece of modern history with the power to alter destinies. Sacagawea herself, the Shoshone woman immortalized on this dollar, adds to its gravitas. She guided Lewis and Clark across uncharted America, carrying her infant son while leading explorers through rivers, mountains, and unknown lands. Her face on the coin is more than artistry. It is a symbol of resilience, courage, and the unbreakable bond between history and future generations. Owning this coin means carrying that story in your hands, and for those who recognize its rarity, it becomes more than currency. It becomes destiny. While millions were struck, the truth lies in the details. Some 2000D Sacagawea dollars are perfectly ordinary, yet others possess errors or special conditions that make them astronomically valuable. Mid-strikes, double dies, and high-grade examples certified by experts have crossed into six-figure and even seven-figure territories at auction. This means that one humble dollar, found in an old drawer, a dusty jar, or a forgotten wallet, has the potential to become a life-changing fortune. Consider the psychological impact of this coin. Most people see it and assume it's worth face value, just a dollar. Yet beneath that golden sheen lies the potential for millions. This duality, ordinary on the outside, extraordinary in reality, creates a mystique unlike any other modern coin. It is a perfect metaphor for hidden wealth, a treasure hiding in plain sight, waiting for the sharp eye and wise heart to recognize its power. The story of the 2000D Sacagawea dollar also marks a turning point in American coinage. It was designed to inspire trust and curiosity at a time when paper money was dominating. Its golden glow was intended to catch the eye and make Americans proud to carry coins again. And though its everyday circulation faded, its collector value only grew, making the 2000D Sacagawea a paradox, a coin that failed as currency but triumphed as treasure. Some examples of this coin were used in experimental tests by corporations like Cheerios, where a small batch of Sacagawea dollars was distributed in cereal boxes as part of a promotion. Little did anyone know that these Cheerios dollars would become some of the most valuable modern coins in existence. And when tied to the Denver Mint mark, these coins carry both rarity and historical mystique, turning a childhood memory into a potential fortune. Beyond its market price, the coin's gold-like color plays a role in its desirability. Humanity has always been drawn to gold, associating it with wealth, immortality, and power. Though this coin does not contain solid gold, its shine awakens the same instincts in collectors and treasure seekers. That psychological pull makes it a coin not only of monetary value, but also a symbolic fortune, carrying the promise of wealth to whoever holds it. The coin market is unpredictable, yet the Sacagawea series has proven resilient. Demand for the 2000D continues to climb, especially as younger collectors enter the hobby and rediscover the magic of early 21st century rarities. Every auction seems to bring new records, as pristine specimens shatter expectations and prove that the value of this coin is far from capped. Its story is still being written, and each new discovery only adds to its legend. For those who own a 2000D Sacagawea dollar, the advice is clear. Do not part with it hastily. In the right market, in the right condition, under the right spotlight, this coin can transform overnight from a curiosity to a fortune. Many have let such coins slip away for pennies on the dollar, only to learn later that they once held a piece of destiny in their hands. In truth, this coin is a mirror of Sacagawea's own story. She was underestimated, overlooked, yet she carried within her the strength to guide a nation into its future. The 2000D dollar carries the same spirit, quietly enduring, quietly waiting, until the day comes when its true power is recognized. So if you have this coin, guard it, cherish it, and never underestimate it. It may look like a simple golden dollar, but in reality, it is a relic of history, a treasure of the present, and a fortune for the future. In the numismatic world, few coins carry such a combination of beauty, symbolism, and unimaginable value. The 2000D Sacagawea is not just a coin. It is an opportunity, a destiny, and perhaps the very key to changing your fortune overnight. Next up, when the 2001 P. Sacagawea dollar rolled out of the Philadelphia Mint, few could have predicted the weight of history it carried in its golden glow. The coin was more than a piece of currency. It was a continuation of America's tribute to Sacagawea, the young Shoshone woman whose guidance shaped the legendary Lewis and Clark expedition. With the P mint mark, this coin marked Philadelphia's role in minting symbols of strength, courage, and unity, and it remains one of the most intriguing treasures of early 21st century numismatics. The Sacagawea dollar had only been introduced a year earlier in 2000, but by 2001, it had already become a cultural icon. Its distinct golden color set it apart from anything else in circulation. Though it contained no real gold, its brilliance echoed the allure of wealth and prosperity. In the years since, collectors have come to regard the 2001 P not just as another coin, but as a token of rare opportunity, an object that in the right condition or under the right circumstances could be worth fortunes beyond imagination. Sacagawea herself embodies the spirit of discovery, perseverance, and hidden strength. As she guided explorers across rivers and mountains while carrying her infant son, she carved her place into American legend. Her presence on this coin adds a dimension that transcends mere metal. It makes the 2001 P-Dollar a living link to courage, resilience, and the forging of new paths. To hold it is to touch that same energy, and that is part of what makes it so valuable to collectors worldwide. The Philadelphia Mint is no stranger to crafting history. As the first United States mint, it had produced coins since 1793, and its mark has always carried weight in the numismatic community. The P on the Sacagawea dollar assures collectors that it came from this historic institution, adding prestige to its already compelling story. This is not simply a coin. It is an heirloom struck in the very place where American coinage was born. Though millions of these coins were produced, rarity emerges in the details. A small number of 2001 P Sacagawea dollars were struck with special precision, and some show mending errors or die variations that elevate them into treasures of immense value. Collectors have spent years tracking down high-grade examples, and when they appear at auction, they often surpass expectations, climbing into ranges where ordinary people can scarcely believe a $1 coin could be worth so much. There is also a psychological mystique in this coin's golden appearance. Humanity has always equated gold with wealth, power, and eternity. Though the coin is an alloy, its shimmering surface tricks the senses and stirs the imagination. For many, it feels like holding a bar of gold in miniature form. That sensation alone, paired with its historical symbolism, transforms the 2001 P-Dollar into something far greater than the sum of its parts. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Sacagawea dollar series is how it bridges ancient history with modern America. While Sacagawea represents the untold contributions of indigenous peoples to the nation's expansion, the coin itself was struck at the dawn of a new millennium, a symbol of continuity, resilience, and vision. It is a coin that tells two stories at once, one of the past and one of the future. Collectors have reported rare varieties of these coins commanding extraordinary sums. Pristine examples, encapsulated and graded at the highest levels, fetch staggering amounts, often shocking those who once dismissed them as ordinary pocket change. This unpredictability makes owning a 2001 P Sacagawea dollar akin to holding a lottery ticket with history's approval stamped upon it. One day it may be nothing more than $1. The next, it could be the coin that changes your life forever. The value of this coin continues to climb because its story resonates with more than just coin enthusiasts. It speaks to dreamers, historians, and fortune seekers alike. For some, it is a reminder of Sacagawea's bravery. For others, it is an investment in the untold riches of the numismatic world. And for the fortunate few who stumble upon a rare version of this coin, it becomes a golden key to wealth unimaginable. Market trends suggest that this coin will only grow in importance. As younger generations turn to collecting, the golden dollar stands out as a modern masterpiece with deep historical roots. Its design, its color, its mystique make it unforgettable, and its association with both Philadelphia and Sacagawea elevate above countless others in circulation. In time, the 2001 P may well be remembered as one of the great icons of 21st century coinage. If you own one, treat it not as loose change, but as a treasure. Store it, study it, and seek expert appraisal before ever letting it go. Too many people have unknowingly spent coins of immense value, only to learn later that they once held the power to change their fortunes overnight. Your 2001 P Sacagawea dollar could be just such a coin, a silent fortune resting in your palm. Ultimately, the 2001 P Sacagawea dollar is more than metal, more than currency. It is a story of history, hope, and hidden wealth. It is an embodiment of courage in the face of impossible odds, and a reminder that extraordinary treasures often appear in ordinary forms. This coin, though small, carries the power to alter the course of your life. Do not underestimate it, for within its golden shine lies the possibility of a future brighter than you ever imagined.